Good morning everybody, welcome to another video. It's just on 5 o'clock now, and as you can see behind me, down on the River Wye. It is the 17th today, it's the second day of the fishing season. Didn't get out yesterday, but knowing that I was going to have a long day today, I didn't worry too much. We've got a very long day today, as we can fish until the sun goes down, until dusk. Well, we're allowed an hour after dusk actually, but probably not going to stay quite that long because it's going to be a day of trotting. The Wye is relatively low. There's not a great deal of clarity. It's 2-3 foot perhaps. I can hear something jumping out behind me. We've got perhaps 2 or 3 foot of visibility, so it's perfect for trotting, really. Now I'm going to use my standard Barbel and Chub trotting rig. I'll link you in up there to go and have a look how I set this up over on the other channel, the Fishing Tips channel. But I think we've got a few pellets in. I say we, I'm here today with my mate Tony, so you'll probably see him in the video as well. We're probably going to share this swim. It's usually got some barbel in it. I'm probably going to go for a bit of a rove as well. We've got a couple of other swims we can do some trotting in. I'm going to get down here, get the waders on. It's going to be a day for standing in the water, trotting the float through. Baits we've got with us. Got some luncheon meat, which I'm going to mainly concentrate on the hook. Got some hemp to put in as well. And I've brought some bread with me as well, just as a nice change bait. And of course we can fish some of the pellets we're feeding as well. Right, I think that's enough waffle. Let's don the waders and we'll get out there. So guys, here we are. Gonna have first go. Tony's gonna hang around for a bit. I think we're probably gonna mostly share this swim. We'll perhaps go for a bit of a wander in a while. It's usually good for a few barbel lists. You can often, sitting up at the top of the bank up there, you can often see them flashing out here, but there's just not enough clarity today. It's probably about 4 foot out there, something like that. And certainly with that overcast sky, we've just not got enough clarity. But we'll see how we get on. There's certainly enough clarity to trot. I think I'm too deep there already. It's not particularly deep out there, I do remember. So nice to be back on the rivers. Been having a very enjoyable time fishing the canals and tench fishing, I have to say. But it is nice to be back on some running water. Certainly something jumping out down there. Oi, oi, blimey. Straight away. Literally as soon as I cast in. Feels like a chub. He grabbed that as soon as I cast it in. Just pulled it straight out of my hand. Ooh, hello. I think it's a chub. It's kiting in like a chub. God. Some pressure in that flow. Certainly is, Mr. Chub. Well, the size of that mouth. I'll grab hold of it, I think. Just about. How's about that? First fish of the season. Wonderful. Cracking stuff. God, he wanted that, blimey. There we are, guys. First fish of the season. Fantastic. Right, back you go, fella. So guys, change of scenery. Come to the croy that marks the top of this stretch. I've put some bait in here when we first got here, about 5 o'clock. It's probably about 6:15 now, something like that. It's quite a rocky swim, this. Quite a lot of boulders down there. It's often a case of trying to feed the bait through. A lot of fish jumping today. Presumably salmon. I haven't had a good look at any of them yet. I'll fish this swim in the winter for chub and done alright. As you can probably see, it's raining as well. It keeps drizzling on and off. It's fairly muggy. It's quite good fishing weather, really. I've never really fished this particular stretch in these conditions. Normally when it's this level, it's crystal clear. But today it certainly isn't. A proper tinge to it. There we go. Wondered for a second if that was a bite. Certainly is. Just a funny little pull under. Not doing a lot, but we're in at least. That was very chubby. What's going on here? We got a stick as well. Fish on a stick. Oh, it's heading to there. There's loads of snags in there. A chub and a stick. Oh, he lost the stick. He's woken up now. Well, he's no monster at all, but he's going crazy all of a sudden. There we go. Here you come. Beautiful colours. Oh, it's about that. Cracking. I was back in the original swim. Started chucking it down with the rain, so I came back round to get my coat, but by the time I got back round here, it stopped. I think it's going to be one of those days today. But I've been able to see what's going on in here from where we just were. And there's a lot of fish jumping out in here. Not actually seen what they are yet. Tony's been fishing in here. He's not seen what they are either. Could well be salmon, but it might be some barbel jumping. I saw something roll there. Now that looked like a barbel. Hope you saw that out there. I've moved upstream, just, I don't know, rod length perhaps. Oh, Tony's got a chub. Nice one, mate. Tony's moved just downstream. First cast, he's had a chub. Yeah, I've moved upstream just a little way, just so I can trot down to these fish. There's a bit of a holding area in here, I know from past experience. Barbel often sit, there's a bit of a bowl in there. Rather than fishing out to it, I've come up so I can fish down to it. That's the plan anyway. There we go. That was about where I'd been expecting to get a bite. Chubby again. Thumping away. Feels a reasonable one though. It's kiting out now. A decent fight. Oh, it's a nice fish, isn't it? It's certainly making us work for it today. It's a old warrior, but beautiful fish. There we go, straight back. Gone. Fab. Just exactly where I thought we'd be getting these bites, over by that sort of rocky. Well, it's like the best way I can explain it, it's like a C shape of boulders, like a cup shape just over there. And that's where these fish have been showing on top. So I've come down to a bit of a gully. There's a bit of a gully through here, as you can probably see by this fast water. Just come down till it's worth 20 minutes or so in here. Just got a pouch with some meat in it. Still sort of raining on and off, but it does look to be brightening up. But, I've fished this swim once before, a while ago, and it was there's lots of chub down the hanging about down that bottom end. So it's definitely worth a go. I think I had a bite then already. There we go, that was definitely a bite. I almost pulled the rod out of my hand. Well, there's a few fish in here, clearly. It's often the way in this early season. Perhaps they've been spawning in this area. I might still be holed up here. I know chub and barbel don't spawn, so the water's quite warm. I've not done the water temperature, but it does seem quite warm to me, the water. Right, we'll just inch this through. Gosh, proper waves there. I see the float half the time. The waves are so big. Yeah, thought I felt a pull. We're in. Feels a reasonable fish, but it would do in this flow. Kiting in, so I think it's probably a chub. He's in the slack water now. I don't think he's particularly big. Just in that fast flow. Can't tell how big they are. It's off out again now. All of a sudden it feels like much bigger fish. Oh, he's a decent fish, certainly. Put that big mouth open and that's like a windsock. Oh, he's a nice fish. Yeah, he's a nice fish. Can't bring him up. Come on. Oh yeah, I think that's probably my biggest one of the day so far. Absolutely fantastic. What a cracking fish. Wonderful. God, he wanted that as well. Got it. There we go. Fantastic. Careful. Cracking. Wonderful stuff. I think I'm going to move a few yards downstream to just make life a lot easier. I've not put any bait in here at all. It's the sort of place a fish will just be holding up anyway. I think we need to start filling it in. Obviously we've got the option, should we want to. Yeah, we're just dragging under a bit. I think we're probably a little too deep. I wondered if I was connected in then. Wasn't sure. Thought it was the bottom at first. Well, fairly prolific in here. Feels chubby again. come into this slack water, fortunately. It's about that. Middle of the top lip. Perfect. There we go. Cracking. Blimey. Something big over there. Again, I would guess it's a salmon. It's gone down. Nope. There we go. Fighting pull that. Feels like half decent fish again. A lot of these bites further downstream, so it might be worth us going down there a little bit, I think. Feels a better fish. I think it's a chub still. Shaking its head. I have to get Tony to come down this. I think he's having many bites where he is. So we'll get Tony down. Share the love. He's giving up now. Totally given up. That's another nice one. God, I'm just nicked in there. This one might come off. It's barely hooked. Oh, that was lucky. Now that is what you call a skinny hook hold. Oh, looks in today. Wonderful stuff. It's absolutely cracking. There we go. Same place again. Oh. Just round that corner down there. Oh, this is off. Whoa. Just going and going and going. I can't do a lot with this at the moment. God, he stripped some line off me. It's coming back now. Blimey. God. God, salmon jumping out there. Gosh, what's happening down here? Got on into this slack water now. Well, would you believe it? I mean, it's a nice fish, but he's no monster. Just stripped all that line off me. Got him. Cracking fish, though. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that. They're absolutely troughing these bits of meat. Wonderful. Well, what I do is I'll just drop this out. What I do is just trap the line and let the rod go through, like that. Yeah. Just completely trap the line. Then I let the line off, take the rod back, yeah. And just all the time directly in contact with that float.
You're moving the rod.
Moving the rod through, just the pace I want it to go at. And then yeah. I felt a bit of a pull then, but I think it's the bottom. But yeah, just holding it, and I can run it. I'm not letting any line off at all, doing it all with the rod. And that's when I let the line off, when I take the rod back. Just works, seems to work better in fast water. Felt a bit of a knock then. Like you say, you feel everything, because the line's almost straight right through to the bait. As soon as anything grabs it, you feel it. There we go. Felt that. Grabbed hold of it.
You're in?
Yeah.
You are, yeah.
Just felt. Did you see the rod tip go? Properly. It's just off. My guys were in again. Just showing Tony I was fishing this this faster water. Head shakes, I think it's a chub, but it charged off again. God, another one I've just nicked. I had one a minute ago, it was on the... Oh, amazed it didn't come off. Cracking condition. There you go, guys. Fantastic. Come on, mate, your turn. That's how I do it. It's just practice. Well, I find that technique works really well in fast water. But you can let the rod go through at whatever speed you want then, really, really slow and hold it back hard, or you can put it through quite fast. I would go through a lot slower than that with the rod. I try and aim for letting the rod go through at half the pace of the current. Then you know you're holding it back hard. And that's probably about the speed that the water's moving at where these chub are. So it's looking natural to them. You'd be amazed as well, if you watch your rod top when you push it through, you'd be amazed how fast it goes through. I do it at home a lot, and you move it through and you think, I'm going really slow here, and you're not. You're going at the same pace as you're going about the same pace as the flow there. You want to hold it back hard, much harder than that. You still want to let it move, but real slower than that. That's more like it. Just keep it going through, but slowly.
Yeah, it is. Come on, get anyway.
That's where all the fish are. You can wake them up. Give them a smack with that ball. It's really shallow there. You'll be getting out and pushing across there. Okay.
I've got out once already.
I'm sure it'll happen quite a few times today.
Hiya.
Hi.
How are you getting on so far?
It's all right. All right. We've had a few.
First day of the season?
That was yesterday.
Nice.
Cheers. There we go. Look at that. And canoes do not bother fish. Bother the anglers more than the fish. First run through after the canoes, look. Had a bite straight away. And it feels like half decent fish as well. It's just old in there. Chub again, I'm sure. But I think they help. I think the canoes help. I think they wake the fish up a bit. They make a move. And this feels like half decent fish. It is out in that fast flow, so you know it's a bit hard to tell, but it's certainly holding his ground. Off again, and he's off again. Blimey, and he's off again. What a scrap. What a scrap. God. Matt, you can get a golf ball in. Come on, fella. Oh, that's a nice fish. That'll be why we had a good fight. A lovely fish. Look at that. Fantastic. Right, we'll have a few more minutes. See if we can take a bit more advantage of those canoes going through. Fantastic. There we go. I felt him pull it. That was lovely. Just easing the float through the swim. I think we'll get this fish in, hopefully anyway. And then I think we'll give it a rest. Let it settle down. Go back, I'm gonna have a drink, something to eat. And I say we'll give this swim a rest, I think. Must have had, I don't know, between me and Tony, we've probably had about 10 out of here now. I'm sure it's good for some more bites as well. But I think it'll certainly help if we give it a bit of a rest. Lovely fish. No monster again, but cracking. Right, as I say, we'll rest this up now. Go and have some refreshments. We'll come back in a bit. So guys, I've come back onto the Croy, as you can see. I'll change it up a little bit. Got some bread. We'll have a go on here with some bread. Just to ring the changes a little bit, really. I've not got any sort of bread with me. Bring very minimal stuff here because it's a bit of a trek to these swims along here. I do tend to keep tackle to a minimum, so I've not bought loads and loads of bread to throw in, as we've got lots of feed, which is, you know, pellets and hemp, etc. But you know, we have been feeding pellets in here. And hopefully there's some resident fish as well. There we go. Look at that. Second run through, I think that was. I wasn't sure if it was a bite, but clearly is. Doesn't feel very big. That fooled him, didn't it? Little chublet on bread. Cracking. Well, I'm fishing bread, and as you can see down there, I think we've got some starting to take off the top. There we go. And we've got one that was taking off the top that just took our flake. Just throwing a few of my crusts in. And they were taking down in Tony's swim, and then we just had a first couple of rises in this swim for it, and then the float immediately went down right next to where they were taking it, or it was taking it, because I'm not fishing particularly deep. It's not very deep in here. It's only sort of 3 foot ish. Again, not a big one, but certainly not complaining. I wonder if that was the one that was taken off the top. Oh, a lovely fish. One for the future. God, so lively, these fish. We'll keep chucking the crusts in. See if they do keep coming up for it. If they do, obviously we can put a bit of crust on, can't we? Maybe get a take off the top. There you go, that's a bit that's just the other side of my float. Just got taken. I think we'd probably be better off in that swim further down. So guys, I got round here just in time for that bread we threw in that last swim to get into this swim. And the chub came up and sucked it down just out here. Though some of it was getting taken up there, so I'll throw a few bits in. Just out what's happening. Of course, it may be that now I've got down here and got in the water. It's going to disappear. Aye, aye. I think that's enough said, isn't it? Right in front of me there. Right. We'll drop a bit in, shall we? I don't know if you saw that. I think you did. I'll drop a bit in. I think it's worth putting a bit on. I'll say I'm not going to de-tackle this trotting gear because this is only a bit of a distraction. But I just slid the Olivette and the float right down to the end of the hook link. I'm just going to drop this in over that and see if we can tempt one. Blimey. There we go. I wasn't even watching. That huge just leapt out down there. Well, it wasn't quite on the top. It was a bit of flake that was floating just under the surface. But we've got him. Feels like a decent fish as well. The one I saw take a bit of flake when I was, or a bit of crust I should say, when I was up top of the bank, it looked a decent fish. This feels like a decent one. Well, I'm glad I bought this 3/4 of a loaf of bread. Old bread out of the freezer. Bought it just on the off chance. And it's caught us a couple of little chub and certainly a very nice one here. So you can see how shallow I was fishing. The flake was actually just under the surface. I think this is the one I saw taking the bread. That's a cracking fish, that is. That's about that. Wonderful. He certainly wanted that bit of bread. There we go. Cracking. Right, let's put a few more bits in, but I'd imagine we've probably put pay to that, but we'll put a few more bits in and see what happens. You never know. Out here. Chub. There you go, look. Swirled at that bit. Didn't take it. And over there, look. There we go. Tony said he could see them all. He could see them all cruising about. We've got another one. Well, we ain't got him yet, but we're in.
Oh, that's got a nice
Mr. Chub. Mr. Chub. Very angry Chub. There we are, guys. I say Tony's a bit further at the bank. He said he can see them all cruising around this bread. Well, I'm still fishing just under the surface. As you can see, perhaps a foot, just over a foot under the surface. Right, we'll see if we get a few more takes again before we cast in. See if Tony wants to go. I'm just firing bits across as far upstream as I can get them, because we were getting some takes out in front. I can't see the fish from here, unfortunately. But we'll keep firing this until we get, oh, I was going to say till we get some more takes. We've got one already. Now I'm taking every bit. Time for a cast, I think. They're certainly getting braver. Yeah, they are taking every bit now. Right. Hopefully, one little trot down and the float will go under. We're using a very buoyant bit of flake that's actually floating just under the surface. It's very buoyant. So it's sort of replicating what they're taking. There we go. There we go. That worked. Even though it was right next to the float. This is great fun. Wonderful fun. There's another reasonable fish. The one I saw in front of me take a bit of floating bread was not very big. This feels reasonable. It's not beasting me, but it's not tiny. Well, he's not huge, but he's a nice fish. Oh, we just nicked him in the corner. Come on. Oh, he's a nice fish, actually. That's a cracking fish. Absolutely fantastic. Right, I think it's Tony's turn. Can I have a go at this, mate? We're back in the river. We've run out of bread, had some lunch. It's about 3:15 now, very late lunch. I didn't quite realise the time. As I say, yeah, about 3:15. It's clouded over again, gone very muggy. It just sort of prompted me to have a bit of a go in here again. Tony had a bit of a go on the bread as well. He had a few chub out. And while he was fishing, we did see a barbel jump over here. Clear as day, came out this far out of the water. Clear as day, a barbel, about £5. So they're clearly here. Having not seen any this year, it was nice to see they're still here. I think I'm going to have another perhaps 20 minutes, half an hour in here. And then perhaps go back to that fast water. I did enjoy fishing in there. Do enjoy fishing those sort of swims. But we'll just see if we can winkle some out of here first. It's had a bit of a rest for the best part of an hour, I would think. Always pays to rest swims, and good reason why we've got a few swims on the go. It's really good to give them a rest. Tony was getting lots of bites though. Saying that, I've just had one. He's getting lots of bites fishing about a foot deep on bread. Looks like another chub. Nice to get one. fairly quickly. Just back on the luncheon meat. It's taking me on a tour of the swim. This time of the day when you've been trotting for 10 hours or best part of, your arm really starts to ache. And you've been catching plenty of fish as well, which we have. God. Yeah, this is a decent fish. God, the size of that mouth. I wonder if it's scrapping. Oh, look at that hook hold. Middle of the top lip. Wonderful. God, yeah, he's a good one. I can hardly get my hands around him. That's certainly my biggest one of the day. That's a cracker. Absolute cracker. Wonderful. Absolutely cracking. He's very angry, we'll get him back. Mouthful of luncheon meat. Gone. Wonderful. Now, certainly rest of the swim has done it some good. There we go. We're in.
We're in already.
Sorry, mate.
Fucking Did it take the rod as well?
No, it was a bit more gentle. I don't think it's very big. Oh God, we're in again. Come down to this fast water. Tony's moaning at me because he's had about 20 minutes here. He bumped one off and I've had 1 second run through. Oh dear, it's not very big. I think I'm a bit deeper than you. I think that's what it is. He's no monster, but a bite's a bite. Oh, there we go. Feisty character as well. Oops, middle of the top lip. There you come. There we go. Whee! Round that corner again, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's one, mate.
Literally like a bloody...
You nearly pulled a rod out your hand.
Yeah.
Nice one, mate. It's because you're holding back so hard, the line's almost straight to the bait. That's why you feel that big thump.
Yeah.
They fight great as well, don't they, in that flow? Got him. Nice one, mate. They're really feisty, aren't they, today? Yeah, I'll take your rod. I'd be amazed if there weren't some barbel in this gully through here. I mean, it looks so barbely. It's crazy. But I've fished it, I think, 3 times now. I know a couple of other people who fished it as well. And I've never known anyone have a barbel out of it. But it really does scream barbel. So it's quite surprising. There we go. Cool. It's gone absolutely scooting straight over there. Chub, I think. Can you feel of it? Cheers. Bit of Chub Fest going on today. Cracking. I think that's chub number 20 for me today, which is crazy, but I'm certainly not complaining. I think I've had at least half of them out of here, out of this swim. It's been cracking today, but as you'd expect with relatively low water and relatively warm water, you'd expect the fish to be in this faster area, more oxygenated water. It certainly seemed to be. I'm convinced it's going to be worth half an hour in here later on. It starts to get dark. It's got to be. You know, we have fish in here when it's too dark though, because it's very tricky to see the float at the best of times. There's got to be some barbel in here. Mind you, there's some barbel in that. That's when we've seen them. Seen them jump out and caught sight of the odd one flanking. Very tricky to see this amount of colour, but pretty sure I have, and can't connect with any up there, so quite possibly there's some barbel in here. We're just not connecting with them. They're just not interested at the minute, perhaps. I think we'll have this run through and then we'll have 20 minutes break before a final push. I think it's getting on for 6 o'clock now, so we've probably got 3 hours left. We'll have 20 minutes, something to eat, something to drink, put the sun hat on, and we'll get back at it. Right, we're back in the original swim, as you can see. It's just about 7 o'clock, so we've got perhaps 2.5 hours before we won't be able to see the float anymore. Having said that, let's check the weather forecast. And they're forecasting thunderstorms at 9 o'clock. So we're going to have to be a bit careful because we've got about half a mile walk back out of here. Across fields, so we're going to have to be a little bit sensible. Don't fancy a soaking and don't fancy getting struck by lightning even more. Right, see what we can do. This swim's been resting up for a while now, probably an hour. Tony had a bit of a go in here and had a couple of sort of modest sized chub. Just hoping these barbel switch on. There we go. Now, what's this? Chub, I think. Thump thump. Certainly homing in on this meat. I don't think he's beasting me enough to be barbel. Oh, give me a reasonable scrap. I think it's a chub. Coming in too easily, I think. There's a decent chub there. It's a good and nice. That's a cracker, I think. That's a decent chub. Yeah, that's a proper chub. Good blimey. Well, I don't know if you saw what that was. I didn't. I was trying to get this chub, pick this chub up. That is an absolute tank. I think probably my biggest one of the day. That's a proper one. Okay. God. Yeah, that's a proper one. Fantastic. Wonderful stuff. Tony's just been round and to grab another hook. He says he's got smashed off by something. So hopefully he's got something. He's up on the Croy. Hopefully he's got something decent in his swim, feeding away. But we're both fishing fairly robust tackle, so it's a bit of a surprise to get smashed off. But he's going to give it another 15 in there, I think, and then going to come in here and take over, because it'd be good if he could catch a barbel. He's really keen to catch one. Of course, I'd love to as well, but I'm actually out again in a few days' time, back on the Y. So if I don't succeed today, we've always got another day in 3 days' time. So I'm happy to go down and fish that faster water down there for the last bit if Tony wants to fish in here. Because as we've seen over the last sort of half an hour, 45 minutes, there's definitely some barbel in here, without a shadow of a doubt. Which we kind of knew anyway. Right, one last flourish in the fast water. I've come a little bit further upstream, just so we can get to fish a bit more of this fast water here in front of me. We can obviously still run right the way down. We'll move downstream if we fancy it. Right. See what we can winkle out of here. You can see this much faster water in front of me here. It's a bit choppy, but I'm just wondering if we might do some good in there. Very choppy. I think it's worth a few runs in there before perhaps we move downstream a little bit. Ooh, I think that was a bite already. There we go. Right down the bottom. Oh. Here's a reasonable fish. Be worth moving downstream a few yards, I think, if we're going to get bites down there, rather than dragging these fish all the way up here. God, really pulling in this flow. Blimey, pressure on this gear. Decent fish, that's why. God, the pressure. Got it. Cracker. Wonderful. There we go. Oh, that's a proper pull. Oh, proper pull. Conspired to miss it somehow. Oh, it's a fish. Thought we were snagged. Oh, blimey, some blackcoats coming over now. Sort of felt a few spots of rain. Maybe we are in for this thunderstorm. Certainly don't want to be standing in the middle of a river holding a rod. If we are. Yeah, another reasonable fish. Not a monster, but another nice one. Possibly the last. Another nice fish. God, power against that flow. Cracking. And I guess that's a male from judging from what he's doing there. Back you go, fella. Well, as I say, looking at these clouds, I don't want to give it too much longer, I don't think. Can't think of anywhere worse to be stood in a thunderstorm in the middle of a river holding a big long piece of carbon. Not good. I haven't heard any rumbles yet though, but I think I'm going to give it another 5 minutes. And that'll do me. Well guys, just had a shout from Tony, as we thought. Barbel were here. He's just had a nice chub, 312, and then he's just had that fella. Cracking. Nice one, mate. It's just as the lights dropped as well. Absolutely typical, innit, of Barbel, but cracking. Well done, mate. Nice one, mate. Fantastic. I'll shake your hand for that. Got my arm. So guys, what a cracking way that is to end the session. That's fantastic. I'm really pleased Tony caught that barbel. He's had some nice chub as well today, and I've had absolutely stacks and stacks of chub. I think around about 29 decent sized chub. So I'm certainly not complaining. I haven't had a barbel myself, but I was really enjoying the chub fishing today, to be honest, and I'm out again in 3 days' time to do some chub and barbel trotting, so really not concerned at all. And I really wanted Tony to finish off in this swim here, knowing this was the best chance of a barbel, so I'm really pleased he's had that. That's absolutely fantastic. But the thunder clouds are gathering. We're getting chewed by every single insect in the county, I think. That's what it feels like anyway. But I think time to get this gear packed away, try and get back before the thunder and lightning starts. All there is left to do is to say thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed that first session of the new river season. Tight lines when you get out there yourself. Many thanks to the channel patrons for your fantastic support, and I'll see you all again in a few days' time.